match her aura of despair. This girl was angry, certainly at God, and on some level at me. "You got up to speak tonight," she continued, "and I didn't want to listen to anything you had to say. I couldn't have cared less what you were talking about. I knew none of it applied to me." Michelle then made eye contact with me for the first time. Was she warming up to me? "But something happened while you were talking," she continued. "I started hearing this voice saying, 'Michelle, I love you. Michelle, I love you. Michelle, I love you.'" Her posture changed as she became quiet and leaned in so only I could hear. "Nick, I think it may have been God." At the end of my talk, when I had invited people to stand up in front of their seat if they wanted to reset some part of their life, Michelle had been compelled to rise to her feet. "I prayed the prayer you told us to pray if we wanted to give our lives to Jesus," she said. "And I meant those words, Nick. I want to start looking to him." Michelle then punched her fist into the air between us, and reflexively I shifted, thinking she might connect a right hook with my face. Moments before, she had been so revved up that it wouldn't have surprised me. Fortunately, her fist stopped, and as it hung there, clenched and trembling, she said, "I've worn this for the past 5 years. Every morning when I put it on, it reminds me that I am worthless. But I'm not going to wear it anymore. I don't want to see myself the way the world sees me 1 minute longer. I want to start seeing myself the way God sees me. Will you take this?" My mind spun as I grabbed the blade from her hand. Someone actually wore this, so close to a throat that it could slit? It was a powerful, larger-than-life moment for Michelle, and for me as well. She had encountered the living God and been changed as a result. Skeptics might say that moving from self-hatred to self-love isn't some simple switch you flip, a one-time decision you'd make. And they'd be completely right. And I told Michelle as much. "You're probably not going to wake up tomorrow and want to join the cast of Glee, but you've taken an important step, and now God wants to journey with you every day. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that you're never going to regret this new path." As Michelle's friends mobbed her, hugging her neck and wiping away her tears, she flashed me a smile. The words conveyed in her bright countenance said, "I knew there had to be more to this life, and I finally found it." Glimpses of transcendence. That sense that there is more to this life is something we taste and see throughout our lives. One of my earliest glimpses of it happened when I was just a little boy craving time with my dad. From time to time, my dad, Bruce is his name, but I've always called him Boom, would pack up the family Suburban and shuttle me north 5 hours, past the Canadian border, to do some walleye fishing, just the two of us. We'd stop at the corner gas station before heading out of town, where he'd indulge my junk food compulsion, saying with an easy grin, "Don't tell Mom." The pocket knife he gifted me during one of those trips I still have, and each time I happen upon it, I'm reminded that our fishing trips were never about the fish, but about spending time with my hero. We always stayed in a cheap motel or lodge, but in my memory, those sites were 5-star resorts, given the undivided attention I enjoyed from my dad. I can't tell you exactly what we talked about during our days on the road, but 2 decades later, I'm still in touch with those feelings of pride and elation, and that sensation of being raised up emotionally by someone I admired so much. To this day, I keep notes from Boom on my desk. And then there was the time my mom and I were hanging out on the dock of a lake we frequently visited as a family. We were sitting there talking and laughing when the entire lake turned over. For real, the whole thing flipped end over end. Evidently, it happens twice a year. This process of a lake's surface waters cooling and thus becoming denser, which causes those waters to sink. The sinking effect makes the bottom layer of water literally turn over and become